us live here, literally, at Newsarama on our Skybox at New York Comic Con. And joining us today, we have Brandon SEIFERT and Lukas KETNER from Image and Skybound's Witch Doctor.
Hey guys, thanks for coming up, first off. So give us a concept before we get into what's going on. Tell us about Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor is a horror medical drama. It's sort of like if Dr. House fought supernatural diseases instead of normal ones. So it's things like vampirism, demonic possession, zombieism, stuff like that.
It's just as much about like diagnosing supernatural problems as it is like fighting them. So.
Oh, good. So it's about just like paperwork and a lot of like just filling out forms.
Right.
Really good. Exciting demonic.
And then occasionally he hits something with a sword.
Yeah. Good.
Well, like how much medical research do you have to do? Did you guys give yourself a lot of work here? Or you're like, oh, it's all mystical.
Well, we've been doing this series since we started developing it in 2007, and since then I've been doing pretty much nothing but reading books about weird biology and medicine.
Cool.
So at this point, I don't have to do a whole lot of research because
It's
by and
sunk
large,
in?
I'm like,
Wow,
by and large,
really?
I know which direction I want to go with something like, it's a zombie. It's okay, so it's going to be, this is what the take on the biology will be. But that's only because I've read a lot of.
What's like the weirdest thing
Yeah.
that you haven't yet put into a book that you found in a medical journal?
There is a virus that makes caterpillars dissolve into goo.
I like
It
that
causes
one.
them, it's called a baculovirus. It causes them to climb up to the top of a tree and then hang down from a branch. And then their body dissolves and just kind of collapses into goo that falls on other caterpillars below them, which get infected and do the same thing.
That sounds like it came out of a
Yeah.
comic book.
It's called treetop disease.
Oh, that's sort of a cute name.
But yeah, it's very
For a
adorable.
terrible disease.
It's like, hey kids, it's called Treetop. It's got caterpillars. It's adorable.
My favorite was the similar one with like the fungus that grows out of the ant's head and like
cordyceps.
causes him to
Sucks to be an animal, basically.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
like
I've
alters
heard of
his
that one.
behavior to climb up to the top of the blade of grass to be
Oh no,
eaten
you're
by.
thinking of the blood fluke.
I think I am. Yeah.
These are the kind of
This is a
arguments
great
that
fight.
there's
So
no-
much good
What I said. Yeah. I've done a lot of research for this.
Awesome.
Great.
I get them mixed up.
So back to the book.
Understandable.
You did 4 issues,
That's right.
and the trade came out sort of recently, and now you're coming back with 6 more.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, we've got
upgrade.
a new miniseries. It's called Witch Doctor Malpractice.
Two
and
words,
it's
you said.
2 words.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not because it's not about a lawsuit.
Right.
Damn.
It's about
That's more paperwork.
Practicing magic.
yeah. It's a pun on the Latin, which
Yeah. No,
could
we're
have
with you.
been
We
badly,
speak Latin.
Yeah,
fluently,
of course. Yeah.
which we'll put in.
It's not going to
post.
cause any confusion with anybody. Ever.
Nice.
But yeah, so basically, it's the first miniseries was just kind of introducing this world, and the second one is expanding on it and kind of getting more into the character of Dr. Vincent Morrow, who's the witch doctor from the title. The second one opens with Dr. Morrow coming home after a long day at the office and going out for a drink and meeting a girl, and then waking up the next morning with no memory of what happened. And for most of
Close
us,
his kidneys?
he does. No, we did that. We did the kidney theft story.
good.
already. But
So
yeah,
who's Malpractice? Is that like a person? Is it?
It is just a play on words. But it is the idea. The first miniseries, like we've got this whole magic is medicine and monsters are diseases metaphor that we're working from.
Yeah.
The first miniseries was very much about the monsters, and the second miniseries is more about the magic. And so it's more like witchcraft, and it's basically like. Our approach is magic is it's neither good or bad. It's like medicine. Like morphine is this incredible life-saving drug that you can sell on the street for the profit. You can get you can dose somebody's drink with. There's a lot of bad things you can do with this thing that is also like this great revolutionary medical thing. So it's it's the same kind of approach.
What happens
but
when you
for
pour
magic.
morphine into someone's drink?
It's like a roofie kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even
She's
know
asking
that.
for personal
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, so there are like magic abusers and whatnot. So.
Right.
So you guys came to us from Robert Kirkman. How
Yes.
is it working with him?
Intimidating. Because he is, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know if
Who
he's
is
aware
that?
of
Yeah,
this.
I'm
but
familiar
he
with
is
this person.
Robert Kirkman.
Oh, right.
And I told him that one time.
Zombie,
Zombies?
Never
zombie
say that
thing.
again.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about zombies? Because you said you knew like the medical stuff for zombies.
I actually have never had a zombie conversation with Robert.
What?
Now that I think about it.
He probably has a lot of them.
Yeah. No.
And how did you guys meet to build this book?
We both live in Portland, and we're both from Alaska. and it's a
What?
there's a lot of
Wow.
there's a lot of Alaskans in Portland.
We didn't previously know each other in Alaska.
Yeah,
we
no,
like
that's-
met at a show that like a music show that was an Alaskan band playing that we were both there to see,
wild.
so.
Yeah,
And where in
we were
Alaska?
friends with those guys. I'm from Fairbanks.
I'm from Anchorage.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Cool.
And then we ended up, it was kind of a gradual process that ended with us doing a comic together.
Is it nice being able to live in the same area to work on the same book?
It is. I don't tend to see him very much. Like I
Not a
haven't
lot.
seen. I haven't seen Lucas
So
since
much of the
before.
work we just do online because it's easy. I mean, I draw digitally, so it just it's quicker to email him something than to take it over to his house. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you guys should get together more often. You clearly have a lot in common, both from the same state, working on this book together.
What's your research like? Because he's doing all this research about the the medical stuff.
A lot of my research ties into his research because he'll send me images of the things he's researching, and a lot of that will work its way into like the creature designs. And I also do a lot of research on just trying to make things look medical, because I mean I don't want everything to look like a Victorian horror show. Like there are things that I want people to see and be like, oh yeah, I saw that in like when I was in the hospital and stuff. So it's like I want there to be a modern medicine element in it, so that there's a greater juxtaposition between like the medical stuff and the horror stuff. That's
Oh,
going
cool.
on, so.
And when you first sort of were drafting this concept, was this like, oh, we got to do this medical horror, or was it sort of like that was the idea that really stuck, and you had other stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. Like when we decided that we were going to do a comic together, the intention was just to do like a portfolio piece, like a 16-page done in one portfolio piece.
Right.
Just to hand out at places like this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just to show people that we could do comics if
Right.
they would like us to.
Yeah. And,
Such a polite way of saying that.
Yeah.
And we-
I'm available.
like I brought a bunch of different ideas to him, and we talked a lot about what kind of stuff that we want to do, something in the vein of. And I had this thing in my notebook that was basically Witch Doctor that I'd come up with like years before. And I come to him and I'm like, so what there's this thing. What if the doctor says scalpel, and his assistant handed him Excalibur, like there's this thing. That's cool.
The patient freaks out and he's like, "Oh my god!"
I kept having more ideas for it, and then
We
were
kept
like,
trying to come out to center on like the perfect idea just for this one little portfolio piece we were going to do, and realized that, well, we should just make this a series and
Right.
put it out ourselves, because I mean, it's just like I think you said at one point you had like 50 story ideas that you
Wow.
haven't gotten to yet,
Yeah.
that like you'd really like to get into and tell, and there was no way we could just pick one and be done with it. So.
Right. And are you guys looking to jump into more mainstream comics, or like take this property to like television, movies, stuff like that? Probably both.
Yeah. One of the good things about working with Skybound is they've got the Hollywood connection.
Oh, definitely.
So we're at a much better place to get picked up for a TV series or whatever than we would be with most other publishers.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
like that's not something that we can worry about, because that's
Right.
not something that we have any control over. So all we can do is put out
Yeah,
good
the only thing that
comics.
we have control over is making the book the best it can be, so that if people take it in that direction, they'll be interested in it in the first place.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like I'm doing a number of other projects. Like I'm doing some other mainstream stuff. Like I'm writing a couple issues of Doctor Who for IDW.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, great.
Doing a Hellraiser miniseries. So, but it's also as a writer, I can do substantially more. I can write substantially more comics than an artist can draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a month, I can have a bunch of different books coming out.
Right.
So it's much easier for me to do than it is.
Yeah, drawing Witch Doctor is definitely like a full-time job.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
sure.
Yeah. Cool. So what can we look forward to? So we have one. So the first trade is out,
That's right. Yep.
And when is the follow-up? The 6 issues coming out.
Witch Doctor Malpractice #1 comes out November 28th.
Do you have to have read the first one to jump in, or?
It helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah.
You don't have to, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
all
could
it's
jump
all
on.
fairly straightforward.
Oh, great.
House meets Fringe, I think was the tagline I saw.
House
Like,
meets
boom.
Fringe, House meets
That's
Doctor
it.
Who,
Yeah.
House meets Supernatural.
House.
Yes.
Yeah.
House.
It loves meeting people.
It does.
And that's
it sure does.
Well, great. Thanks so much for talking to us,
Thank you.
guys.